السلام علیکم ناظرین، آپ دیکھ رہے ہیں دی آرگیومنٹ اور میں ہوں بطول۔ آج کے پروگرام میں ہم بات کریں گے پریشان کن صورتحال اس وقت افغانستان میں دیکھنے میں آ رہی ہے، اور صرف کابل وہ شہر رہ گیا ہے جس پہ باقاعدہ طور پہ طالبان کا کنٹرول نہیں ہے۔ کسی بھی وقت یہ ایکسپیکٹ کیا جا سکتا ہے کہ اشرف غنی جو وہاں کے پریزیڈنٹ ہیں ریزائن کر دیں گے، اور دس از اونلی کنڈیشن جس کی بیس پہ افغان طالبان راضی ہوئے ہیں کہ وہ مزید بات کر سکتے ہیں، لیکن وہ اشرف غنی کی پریزنس میں بات کرنے کو تیار نہیں ہے۔ بہت ڈسٹربنگ سچویشن تھی۔ 34 میں سے 25 صوبے اس وقت طالبان کی کنٹرول میں ہیں، اور پریشان کن طور پہ افغان آرمی نے ریٹیلیٹ نہیں کیا، لڑائی نہیں کی۔ ٹریلین بلینز خرچ کیے گئے اس جنگ پہ، 180 بلین تقریباً ان افغان فوجیوں کی ٹریننگ پہ خرچ کیے گئے، لیکن جب واقعی لڑنے کا وقت آیا تو ہم نے دیکھا کہ مکھن سے بال کی طرح صوبے افغان طالبان کے حوالے ہوتے گئے اور کوئی لڑائی دیکھنے میں نہیں آئی۔ اور سہیل شاہین جو کہ افغان طالبان کے اسپوکس پرسن ہیں قطر سے، انہوں نے بھی کہا کہ ہم بڑا پیسفلی آگے سے بات کرنا چاہتے ہیں، اور اسلامی جو حکومت ہوگی افغانستان میں شاید اس کی پالیسیز اب زیادہ پولیٹیکل اورینٹڈ ہوں اور سمجھ میں آنے والی ہوں، ماضی کی طرح نہ ہوں۔ آج کے پروگرام میں ہم بات کریں گے حامد حیدری سے، جو کہ ٹی وی ون کے ایڈیٹر ان چیف ہیں، افغانستان میں کابل میں ہوتے ہیں، اور ان سے تازہ صورتحال لیں گے کہ کس طرح سے ایک صحافی دیکھتا ہے جس کو خود یہ یقین نہیں ہے کہ کیا اس کی جان محفوظ رہے گی یا نہیں افغان طالبان سے، وہ کس طرح سے اس بدلتی ہوئی صورتحال کو دیکھ رہا ہے جس میں کوئی بھی افغانستان کے لیے نہیں کھڑا، نہ افغانستان کی حکومت، نہ افغانستان کے بارے میں دعوے کرنے والے ان کے فارن منسٹر، نہ ان کی انٹیلیجنس ایجنسیز۔ دس از ویری ڈسٹربنگ، کیونکہ جب میری وہاں پہ کچھ صحافیوں سے بھی بات ہوئی ہے تو انہوں نے مجھے آف دا ریکارڈ یہ شیئر کیا کہ این ڈی ایس نے بھی ریئیکٹ نہ کرنے کی ہی پالیسی بنائی تھی، اور یہ بات یقین کرنے والی نہیں ہے کہ کسی سپورٹ کے بغیر افغان طالبان نے اتنا بڑا قدم اٹھایا، اور وہ یکے بعد دیگرے تمام صوبوں پہ قبضہ اتنی آسانی سے انہوں نے کیسے کر لیا۔ یہ صرف انٹرنیشنل اسٹیبلشمنٹ پہ سوال نہیں اٹھتا، بلکہ افغانستان کے اندر بھی ایسے بہت سارے اسٹیک ہولڈرز ہیں جن کو موسٹ پروبیبلی یہی سوٹ کرتا ہے کہ افغان طالبانی حکومت میں آئے۔ ان تمام نکات پہ آج کے پروگرام میں ہم بات کریں گے۔ Hamid Haidari, I want to know that as a journalist, how much scary is it for you that your uh, 25 out of 34 provinces, they have been fell like anything, and how much disturbing is it for you?
Thank you so much. It's not a disturbing for me. It is a disturbing for the all Afghan peoples because we know nowadays it is a difficult time for Afghan people, for Afghanistan. It is a difficult situation as we have been seen in the past 2 months. There was an intensive fighting between Afghan government and the Taliban. In some area there was an intense bloodshed, and sometimes there was killing. But in some other provinces and the power has been handed over peacefully to the Taliban, but nowadays only the Kabul has been remained in some northern Afghanistan, especially Panjshir province, in the hands of the Afghan government, and there is a concern among the Afghan people, especially in today in Kabul. The people were stressed, and there was a huge rumors among the people in Kabul that the Taliban has entered in the Kabul, but lately the Taliban has issued a statement and said they will not enter in Kabul because still we know that a high-ranking Afghan delegation went in Islamabad, and tomorrow another delegation will went to Doha for taking or for peaceful transitions, because everyone knows that nowadays the time has been going to be changed, the government has been ended, and still we are seeing what will happen in the future, because as we as an Afghan journalist, our job is to read the news, to see what is going on, to see the situation, and to monitor and to give news update for the people what will going to happen in the future.
Hamid, I have another question for you. How do you react to this fact that your army didn't retaliate and fight at all? Do you think that strategy was far more discouraging for the people who have been expecting a lot from the army, which was being invested by almost $180 billion in a war that costed trillions, but there is not even a single iota of morale in the army? Why is that? There's no
Uh,
morale.
there is a lot of issues behind this. There is a lot of reasons that why the Afghan army and the police or the NDS did not resist, and we have seen a lot of issues, but I believe there was sometimes some issues that have not the Afghan army because of one of the issues that I know is there was some corrupt issues who officials who are on the power. The other issue is that there was a mistrust between the officials, between the soldiers. The other issues because there was sometimes Afghan issues probably depended on the air forces that was supported by the United States and NATO's, and a lot of issues has a reason behind that why the Afghan armies and the police do not resist and do not retaliate against the Taliban, because in some areas we had seen in the past 2 months that most influential people and tribal elders has reached the Afghan army and police as a mediator and said it is a time that this bloodshed should be ended and there should be a peace and should be a negotiation. A lot of reason is behind that why the Afghan army has not retaliated or stands against the Taliban.
As a journalist, you have been in this field for a considerable since a considerable period of time. You're editor in chief of One TV. Um, when I spoke to some of your other colleagues, I asked them about the situation. They said that we are conveyed that we are safe and we will not be attacked. Is that true? The journalists are conveyed this, that they will not be attacked. They can continue doing their jobs from the field and they are quite safer.
You know, Afghanistan freedom of speech is not got it easily. In the past 20 years, we have lost most of our friends, our colleagues in the situation that we fought for the freedom of speech in Afghanistan. Especially, I lost my 2 colleagues in the past 3 years, and three of my colleagues have been injured. I don't know, but there is a concern because we know that the Taliban says we are one group, but no one knows in the future because and nowadays we have seen some Taliban associates are sending some message and tweeting that we will not allow those journalists like who had worked with One TV or with Tulu TV or with others because they feel that these journalists had a collaboration with Western countries and the other issues. The freedom of speech will be called the Taliban. I don't think that what we have nowadays free broadcasting, they will impose some sanctions. It is difficult for Afghan journalists, for Afghan TV stations to obey that imposed, but no one knows because there's a concern among Afghan journalists, especially among my colleagues. I believe it is the same issue among other Afghan journalists because maybe there will be a revenge, but no one knows what would happen in the future.
So it is not. It is quite unpredictable that whether being a journalist in Islam in Kabul or the rest of the areas of Afghanistan is safer or not. I have another question for you. That this is being reported that the Kabul airport lounge and the VIP waiting areas, they are full of Afghanistan's government advisors and ministers and their families. Is that true?
Especially in the past 3 or 4 months, we have seen a lot of people were going out of Afghanistan, and the airport were full of people. But nowadays, I have seen that President Ghani has issued a video statement and called on the Afghan people, especially in Kabul, to coordinate with the Afghan security forces and do not be concerned. Afghan security forces are ready to maintain the security, and there is not any concern in these issues. It is not one day because in the past 4 or 5 months, when the United States announced that they are going to withdraw from Afghanistan, a lot of people, people who were able, they had left Afghanistan as today.
What do you think is an exact favor of Afghanistan? Or how do you see that this political or this turmoil will neutralize? Will the resignation of Ghani work? Does Afghanistan need
I,
it?
I, I think it is the only way because President Ghani knows that the game has been ended and maybe there will be another political settlement in Afghanistan. As I know, yesterday there was a meeting in presidential palace. President Ghani had a meeting with Afghan politician leaders, and he has accepted his resignation. I think tomorrow the delegation which is going to Doha, they will issue the resignation of President Ghani with the Taliban delegation there. As I also have heard that a delegation from Quetta would go to Doha also, and they will reach a conclusion for a peaceful transition in Afghanistan.
Who do you look up to in this situation? Now, we have been listening to these news that the Lords are they're rushing to Central Asia. The government officials, they're being fled away with their families. Um, the journalists are not secure. So we are receiving very vague and unclear information. But on the ground, who is actually looking after the situation? Is that only Taliban, or is there some backdoor diplomacy uh, going on between the stakeholders?
I think I don't know the situation, what will be happen in the future, but I believe because when we had a meeting with the Taliban last year, I went in Doha. The Taliban has understand that they would not govern Afghanistan without sharing other tribal elders, other political influentials who has their base in Afghanistan. But I believe in the next coming days, we would see maybe the situation would change and there would be a political settlement among those who have left Afghanistan with the Taliban, because it is the aims of international community, it is the aim of regional countries, because no one will take Afghanistan power only one tribal elders or one ethnic groups, because it is a complicated society. Every tribal or ethnic groups has its own base and its own influential figures. But I believe we would see in the future what will happen in Afghanistan.
Okay, Hamid, that's my last question to you. That I'm sure you have been following the statements by Sohail Shaheen, the spokesperson of the political group from Qatar by Taliban. He has been saying that they have become more spacious and more understandable now, and they don't want any bloodshed. Do you really believe that there is a change in the strategy and the so-called psychology and very, very intricate translation of religion by
I
them?
don't know, because the Taliban always has issued a statement and has always said that we are going not to be revenge from those people who are in the government or who are political leaders who are in other parties. But there is a historian back when the Taliban first time when they took on before 2001 Kandahar and they reached in Kabul. On that time, their message was that the Taliban would not take an revenge or would not solve some issues with other people. But when they reached in Kabul and they took 90% of Afghanistan, then we had seen that there was a massive killing, especially in Mazar Sharif and in the Yakalang district of Bamyan province. But I believe if this time Taliban will change, we will see in the future, because everyone, when they are going to come in power, they say we have a peaceful message and we will not take any revenge from other ethnic groups or from other officials, from people who are in the government. But in the future, we had seen that those message was wrong and was not right. But nowadays, we're also looking and we're seeing what will happen in the future, because messages another things, but on the reality, when they took the power on the ground, and on that time, I think it will be changed. But we hope so.
I would like to ask another question. I'm sorry, I'm taking up much time. It's about Pakistan. What is the pulse about Pakistan? Well, Pakistan has been very clear that we have nothing to do with the Afghan Pakistan, Afghan Taliban, and they have been saying that these TTA and TTP, they are both sides of one coin, and we have nothing to do with them. There are no more sets. Do you believe that? And what is the pulse about this narrative in Afghanistan?
I don't know, but we have seen as a journalist, you had also seen in Islamabad, there was a huge blame from each other when there was the Afghan government blamed the Pakistani government for supporting the Taliban and for supporting for equipment and for regarding financials, but on the other side, the Pakistani officials had blamed the Afghan government for supporting the Tehrik-e-Taliban of Pakistan because there was a mistrust between the two nations. There was no confidence between the two governments, between the two political settlements. I don't have any idea regarding this issue, but whatever as journalists, we have seen whatever the government says because every country, the government is the main source of every news, and just our work is to keep balance between every kind of blame that has been issued by each of the states.